All right, so today's date is January 22nd, 2025. So we're a month away from the February 22nd show in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And people, when I look at this card, man, like, we're coming into a time now in boxing, starting this week. We have a new on Friday, Dalton Smith on Saturday, Adam Azim the following week, Derek Chisora the following week. And obviously there's fights in America. There's the PBC show on February the 1st, David Morrell versus Dave Benavidez. February 22nd, as I said, I don't sure if there's something mid-February, but if there is, there you go. But we have so much good stuff to come. We have a couple of dates in March. I think got Nick Ballas fighting in March, amongst others. Joe Joyce comes back on March the 1st, I believe. Go to April, we get into the Ring Magazine season. And then bear in mind, Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn has talked about him coming back as well. We don't know who that's going to be against or anything like that, but you would imagine he's going to probably fight sometime maybe kind of late spring, early summer. So there's so much good stuff to come. And this right here, this card, February 22nd show, again, I can't emphasize enough just how good this show is. A lot of people have said that it could be, and people will hype, but it's right up there with one of the best shows I've ever seen on paper. When you look at some of the cards that we got on pay-per-view, not even that long ago when you think about it, like, I'll give you an example. If you look at Joe Joyce, Joseph Parker, it was a pay-per-view. I can't, for the life of me, recall any of the undercard fights. Liam Smith versus Chris Eubank Jr., the first and the second fight as well, for that matter. I can't really recall who was on the undercard. There's some fight cards, I should say, off the top of your head, you just know. One of the best cards I ever seen was, undercards as well, was Dylan White, Joseph Parker, Chisora Takam, Co-Main, Dave Allen, Nick Webb, Conor Benn, Cedric Payneau, Katie Taylor fought on the undercard. Who else fought? You get what I mean. There was loads on that card. It was a brilliant card. Over the last couple of years, prior to the Saudis getting involved, it seems almost like, and I know you have to think of it like this, that they can only pay so much, they have to put so much to the main event, and the rest of the card has to kind of take the leftovers. Fair enough. But it seems like those days are kind of coming to an end now, and I know towards the back end, I know the Fury Usyk undercard, the rematch wasn't amazing. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't amazing. It was definitely better before we had a couple of, pullouts and stuff like that. So yeah, it wasn't the strongest, but that card is still better than, most cards you'd see, to be honest with you. I mean, Dave Allen, Johnny Fisher was really good fun. Atoma versus McKean, first round knockout, it was a blowout, but, we didn't really envision that at the time. Boacek versus Ishmael Davis. You can still remember it. I know you can say, gee, it's fresh in the mind. Yeah, nevertheless, you still remember those fights. No one's going to be forgetting Dave Allen, Johnny Fisher in a hurry. And I think that's the great thing that we're seeing now. We're seeing these big undercards where it's not just the main event. I mean, at the end of the day, Beterbiev versus Bivol 2. I mean, at one stage I said it, I thought we'd never even see one. I thought that fight was one where I kind of resigned myself to say, look, as much as I'd love to see it, I don't think we're going to get it. Well, we got it, and now we're getting an immediate rematch, not even 6 months later. And the first fight was absolutely phenomenal. And that's main eventing. On the undercard, we have Daniel Dubois, Joseph Parker, co-maining. It's not even the main event. It's a heavyweight title fight between two of the most in-form heavyweights in the world right now, Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker. Although Parker, the inactivity might not be ideal, but nevertheless, they're co-maining. Kicking off the show will be Zhang versus Kabayel. Zhilei Zhang, Ajay Kabayel. That's a main event on Fight Night for Sky, on DAZN, on TNT. That's a main event fight. Might not do the O2, but you could easily do the Copper Box or something like that with that as the main event. Or certainly it's the co-main event on a standard, pre-2023 really is when it started. Pre-2023 pay-per-view. Co-main event. Shakur Stevenson versus Floyd Schofield. A lot of people, even at the press conference, were saying it's very early for Floyd Schofield, but nevertheless, he's going in there against Shakur. His style is not the most entertaining, to say the least, but still, tremendous talent. Adames versus Hamza Sheeras. A lot of people are sleeping on Adames. I think Hamza Sheeras will win the fight, but, a lot of people asked the question to me, how would I feel Julian the Hawk Jackson in a previous live would have done against Hamza Sheeras, and I said I think Jackson would have won. I kind of look at Hamza Shearer's punt resistance and I think, how would you do? Well, Adamez has respectable power there, and he's a good fighter, so that's a great fight as well. Joshua Buatsi versus Callum Smith, a brilliant fight. Domestic level dust up. Anthony Yard is the guy I really wanted to see in there with Joshua Buatsi. We don't know what the hell is happening with him. Joshua Buatsi's all he's done is he's done what he's had to do. He beat Dan Aziz about this time last year. He beat Willie Hutchinson on the Joshua versus Dubois undercard, and now he's fighting Callum Smith, former world champion. Was he world champion? No, he was never world champion at 175, but he was former 168 world champion. Good fighter in Callum Smith. We'll see how much he has left, but that's a great fight. I mean, the winner of that is primed to fight for a world title. And then obviously we have Virgil Ortiz Jr. versus Israel Madrimov. Ortiz arguably in the fight of the year last year. Madrimov, arguably, even in defeat, one of the breakout stars of last year, going in there against Terence Crawford, who had left a trail of devastation in his wake at welterweight and pushed him close. Some people feel Madrimov did enough to win. This is all on the one card. Now, I do believe, because I remember being, at the kickoff show, they had people like Bradley Ree for the undercard. I wonder, is that for the weigh-ins or is it for the actual undercard? Because this is gonna be a late. Yeah, they don't have it on BoxRec, but I'm pretty sure they're prelim fights for this card. And man, this card is gonna go on late, but it's gonna be absolutely epic. When you look at those fights, you look and you just think, the youth of Schofield, that could cause Shakur Stevenson some problems, or at least make him fight in a more entertaining style. Zhang is the most dangerous heavyweight for all of 3-4 rounds, and God knows what might happen there. Buatsi Smith, good one. Ortiz Madrimov, expect great stuff there, expect fireworks, and the same with Hamza Sheeraz. Dubois Parker, need I say more? Culminating in a great fight between Bivol versus Beterbiev. And people, this isn't me just trying to sell it or anything like that. Don't even be a link to it. I'm not going to put one of them in. But I just think that it's absolutely flipping phenomenal. And as a boxing fan, seeing cards like that and knowing that it's not just a once off, we're getting that consistently throughout the course of the year. Turkey's already planning next year. He's already planning, what's going to happen next year. He said, if Teofimo Lopez fights Boots Ennis, the winner of that next year could fight the winner of Haney versus Garcia too, and the losers can meet as well. So he's always thinking ahead. That's why boxing's in a really good place. It's in a really, really, really good place, and we're a month away from one of the best cards. Honestly, as I've been a proper hardcore boxing fan, no card's going to touch that I've seen in the last decade and a bit. It's just, can't wait. We're a month away. We're only a month away, people, and I, for one, I can't wait. Let me know your thoughts. Which fight, because it's not really something like that, but which fight on there are you most excited for? Me, it's a toss, man. Like, it is genuinely a toss-up. It could be any fight, but I'm intrigued with Dubois versus Parker. I love heavyweight boxing, but obviously Beterbiev Bivol too is going to be epic. Beterbiev just turned 40, by the way. Just turned 40, so to be doing that at 40 years old, damn, my guy is conditioned. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you enjoy the video, people. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. I'm not a million miles away from 32k, or 32, well, one day, 22k. Let's get there. Hope you enjoyed it, people. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, all that good stuff. Until later, peace.